Sweden just revealed who destroyed the Nord Stream pipelines. We're going to take a look at the latest, and we're going to put an end to this mystery once and for all. You are not going to want to miss this.
For Europe, it just keeps getting worse.
Nord Stream gas pipelines connecting Russia to Europe. Scientists recorded explosions in the Baltic Sea before detecting 3 simultaneous leaks.
And this comes at a tipping point time for Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine.
On September 26th, a flurry of explosions on 2 underwater pipelines connecting Russia to Germany triggered massive gas leaks spewing into the ocean. The explosions happened at 4 locations, 2 in Denmark's exclusive economic zone and 2 in Sweden's. Shortly after the explosions, Swedish officials conducted a series of official investigations into what appeared to be a clear act of intentional sabotage. And yet, after completing their investigations, Swedish officials refused to share any of their findings, either with Russia or with Europe. Even Denmark was shut out of their investigative findings. The only thing they would confirm is that they did find evidence that the pipelines were intentionally sabotaged. According to German paper Der Spiegel, Sweden justified its refusal by claiming, quote, the confidentiality level of the results of its investigation was too high to share them with other states. The mystery of Sweden's actions only deepened just days ago when Swedish officials rejected plans to set up a formal joint investigation team with Denmark and Germany to look into the cause of the explosions. According to Reuters, Sweden rejected the proposal for a joint investigation team from the judicial cooperation agency Eurojust because such a joint investigation would include legal agreements under which Sweden would have to share information from its own investigation that it deemed confidential, and its release would be a threat to their national security. But why? What's going on here? Why all of a sudden secrecy on Sweden's part for a matter that affects the whole of Europe? We have to remember that Europe up until now received 40% of its gas from Russia, gas that came to the continent through those very pipelines. It's been widely observed that as long as Europe remained so dependent on Russia for its fuel, Putin had massive political and economic leverage over the continent. So more and more pundits are realizing it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever for Putin to have blown up the source of his own leverage. Moreover, had Sweden actually found concrete evidence that Russia was behind the sabotage, as NATO's newest member, they certainly would be touting such evidence before the world. And so this raises the question, if Russia had absolutely no conceivable motive for blowing up the pipelines, then who did? Could it be that Sweden's silence is giving us the answer? Hey gang, make sure you click on that link below and support our dear friend and patriot Mike Lindell by getting yourself an amazing aromatic bag of Mike's brand new My Coffee. You can get Mike's wonderful specialty coffee conveniently delivered right to your front door. It comes in a variety of flavors, ground or whole bean, plus it's certified organic and non-GMO. And the best part is you'll know that with every single sip, you're supporting a true patriot who's fighting for freedom. And you can do the same. Click on that link below or go to mystore.com and use code Turley for 25% off, not just the coffee, but all of their products. So awesome. Click on that link below and enjoy the best patriotic products with their best savings ever with code Turley. Here's what Joe Biden said back in February.
Let me answer the first question first. If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
Now, that seems like a pretty explicit admission. As far as the U.S. is concerned, a Russian invasion of Ukraine and functioning Nord Stream pipelines will not be allowed to both exist. You've got one or the other. Take your pick, Putin. That statement by Biden seemed uncharacteristically clear and direct. But interestingly, it wasn't just Biden. This is Victoria Nuland, the Undersecretary of State, who's one of the architects behind the 2014 coup in Ukraine. Here's what she had to say back in January of this year.
With regard to Nord Stream 2, we continue to have very strong and clear conversations with our German allies, and I want to be clear with you today. If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
And on top of all that, after the pipelines were blown up, the Polish Eurocrat Radek Sikorski tweeted out in no uncertain terms, "Thank you, USA." Needless to say, that tweet's been deleted. Strangely, and of course it may be mere coincidence, but a brand new pipeline between Norway, Denmark, and Poland opened up right around the time of the Nord Stream sabotage, providing Europe with an energy source completely independent of Russia. So this brings us back to Sweden. Given everything we've just covered, why would Sweden be so close-mouthed about their investigation? Given that such silence hardly incriminates Russia, there really can be only one culprit. Ultimately, it's got to be the United States, with the covert cooperation of NATO forces. In other words, it may not have been U.S. forces particularly who carried out the sabotage, but it would have been forces associated in some way with the U.S. The problem here is that that's admitted. If a nation like Sweden had evidence that U.S. forces or special forces associated with the U.S. carried out the attack, that finding alone could indeed trigger World War III. Were Russia to launch a comparable attack against our energy infrastructure, shutting down our domestic pipelines and supply chains, we would see that as nothing short of a provocation to war. And so, as it turns out, Sweden's silence is radically revealing. The saboteur is a secret, no more. Hey gang, if you want to learn more about me and how you can join me in building a massive parallel economy by putting your business in front of an audience of millions, then make sure you click on the link below. I have a team that's ready to chat with you about how together we can defy liberal tyranny. Just click on that link below or go to advertising.turleytalks.com. And as always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You will definitely want to check out my latest video on Kari absolutely crushing a woke CNN reporter. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on that link and I'll see you over there. God bless.